which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? Why did this happen to them? Because they rejected the Lord. Why did this happen to them? Because they were complaining rather than thanking God for the provisions that he provided for them every day. I'm talking today about the poison of materialism. What they thought would be a blessing became a curse because they thought they knew what was best for them. Don't you know that God knows what's best for you? Better than you know what's best for you. That's why he said in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not on our own understanding, because what we think we understand, we really don't understand. God knows what's best for us. Some of us have ended up in some relationship because we thought it was best. We didn't go to God and ask God, and it ended up in a big mess. Some of us have ended up with some jobs that may have paid more. We didn't consult God about the job. Now that job is a big mess for you. Amen? They thought they knew what was best for them, and it became a curse. You don't have to be wealthy to be materialistic now. People who don't have much money can covet what other people have. Or they can spend all their time dreaming about what they thought they wanted but don't have. That's why you see so many people caught up in the lottery, trying to hit it big, not satisfied with what they have. God gave you a roof over your head, clothes on your back, but you want more. So you're going out there playing the lottery, taking your mortgage money, your rent money out of your home to go and play a lottery. Don't you know the lottery is designed for you to lose? You may win every now and then a couple of dollars, but in the end, they're going to get all that and more back. Amen. But you out here playing the lottery. But that's your business. The poison of materialism. Amen? Amen. Dreaming about what they want to have but don't have. This is materialism because the core attitude is the concern for the physical and not the spiritual. Come here, rich fool. Y'all know the story in Luke the 12th chapter. Amen? God said that he had an overflow. Amen? His barns were so full, he said that I'm going to tear them down and I'm going to build bigger barns, and then I'm going to sit back and lay back and just eat, drink, and be merry. Don't you know? He was told, he said, thou fool, don't you know that your soul is required of you this night? And then he said, who's going to get your wealth then? Amen. Worried about stuff. He didn't get it. The rich fool didn't get it. God doesn't bless us to get more. God blesses us to give more. When you understand that, amen, you can enjoy the blessings of God. Amen. God gives you an overflow so you can be a blessing to somebody else. That's why he told Abraham, he said, I'm going to bless you to be a blessing for somebody else. If you got an overflow today, who are you blessing today? Oh, you think about how can I spend more money? How can I buy more stuff? Amen. God has blessed you to be a blessing for somebody else. Amen. He said, thou fool, thy soul is required of thee this night. So we define materialism, and materialism is what y'all, when the material things become more important than what the spiritual things. Amen? Amen. Let's identify materialism. Let's look in the passage here in Matthew 12 and verses 12 through 15. In this passage, materialism collides with religion in an ugly way. Religious materialism occurs when someone illegitimately uses God, his name, his people, and his house to get things. Look at verse 12. Verse 12 describes how Jesus entered into the temple and cast out those buying and selling and overturned the tables of the money changers. Verse 13 explained what they were doing wrong. Jesus said in verse 13, you have made my house a den of thieves. The problem was that the sellers were using the church to rip people off. The salesmen in verse 12, they were selling sacrifices, which were the doves that would have been killed to pay for the temporary removal of sins. The catch is that all the sacrifices had to be approved by the priest, catching them. And the priest at this tabernacle, whose name was Annas, was running all the booths that sold the sacrifices. So of course the only sacrifices he approved were the ones he was selling. Not any sacrifices the people brought in from the outside. He wouldn't approve any of those. The sellers could then charge whatever they wanted, knowing that the people were paid because they wanted to give their offering and their sacrifices unto the Lord. The other group in the temple, there were two groups there, was the money changers. The temple had their own currency there. Check this out. And these men charged 25% or more just to change your money so you could buy the overpaid sacrifices. Women